Well, I don't know where to start, so been thinking about it kind of all day, and it just kind of suddenly hit me today that I'm 45 years old. I've got 20 summers left. What am I going to do? Where am I going to be? What am I going to have? How am I going to enjoy it? And how do I make it enjoyable for those around me? Am I enjoying what I have now? I enjoy those around me. I love those around me. I don't love some of the other things. I don't know where to start, so I'll take you on a short little thing. It's like I'm having a hard time getting rid of some things, and I don't really know how to let them go. I don't know if you want to call it hoarding, fear of missing out. I'm not sure why I hold on to these things. I think it's a fear of losing my past, not remembering things again. I tend to remember things when I see them, so I don't like to get rid of the things, because even though it might literally be a broken bolt, a piece of garbage, I fear that I'm not going to remember what that reminds me of and the fun that I had and who I had it with. But I'm beginning to fear the legacy that it's leaving behind me, and the legacy and the memories that it's keeping me from having in the future. So I thought maybe if I just, I have the thoughts run through my head and I think these things, so I thought maybe if I just try to put some of it out, I'll be able to go back and watch this and edit my own life. I don't know. So we'll go take a look around here. Some of the things that I love the swing. The swing is great. Obviously it reminds me of my dad. Just about everything on here reminds me of my dad. And I want to live up to the man that he was. So I work on the property here and I try to fix things up. You'll hear all sorts of music playing here. I enjoy the chickens. We have a bicycle problem. Most of them are broken. I should just get rid of them. These conveyors, man, they're sure handy when I need them. I don't ever plan on digging out another basement. Need to get rid of it. I'm keeping on to this log because I've wanted to cut into it and see what's inside. It's just stupid, silly things. There's lots of things that I like to do. Hello, girls. These are my girls. Here's a good spot. I love climbing. I love my ropes, being in the tree. I'm not necessarily fit for it, but I have enjoyed it. But here it is. Ropes are still up in the tree. Obviously, guys, this is not what I climb on. This was just a rigging line to move some stuff up and down. And for some of those, probably already caught on. Yeah, I shaved this morning. I was wondering who is the guy under the carpet. Dollies. Don't need those. But how do you get rid of them? Like, they have a value. Those things are expensive. Listing things for sale, I hate that. I have things everywhere. This barbecue totally rusted out. Just got to get a new one. This was the stuff that came out of the garage so that I could work on the garage. I needed it empty. So what do we have? Like cases of just, who knows what that is. the old chairs that I played on as a kid. More oils, these shelves. Yeah, I'm gonna need some. I want to put some in the garage. I don't need this many. I need to get rid of them. A lot of this is like my truck stuff. My truck is everywhere. Hardly used. I bet there hasn't been 5 pounds of welding rod go through Dad's new welder. Maybe I need to get rid of my big welder. This winch, I haven't been able to use that in 25 years. Well, okay, maybe 20. Needs parts. I thought it'd be fun to build, source the parts for it, whatever. I have more Dodge parts kind of floating around. Most of it junk, mirrors, stuff, mud flap things that I'll never use. I don't know what it is. Not wanting to spend the money to get it. Got that old motorcycle. I want to ride it just to putt up and down the street a little bit, just because. This is my son's collection. When am I ever gonna restore a bicycle built for two? Sounds like a fun project. I could enjoy it. Be neat. I have a mud flap collection. This is hitch for my truck. This thing needs to go. This winch I've had for about 20 years. Is if I'll need a spare for the winch that's on the Jeep. There are Jeepsters underneath here. What good does that do me? This bumper, ARB bumper, I'm never going to put that back onto a truck. But there's a part of me that's like, dang, that thing was expensive. It's only got one little dent in it. Whatever. Something that needs to go. I should just scrap it. The extra doors, bumpers and stuff, this stuff I'll clear up when I get my truck together. My son has a lawnmower handle and lawnmower bag collection. I got old bald tires from my truck. They're sitting on the rims that I liked for my truck, but I don't actually like the size because they're 18s and I want to go smaller. Why have I held on to them for so many years? Guess is as good as mine. Got this old garden bench out here. Always thought it'd be a neat place to do potting and things. Never been able to use that bench. Can't say never. When I first put it there, I guess so. I think it was a bench of my grandfather's. I don't even know. I just think these things, right? And I got handy stuff like this rack, but that's nice for working on the projects and stuff. Getting up onto the windows without having to be on a ladder. My extra pipe collection. Fireweed, I think is what that is. Didn't even know that was up here. Climbing gear. More saws. Seats from my truck. The old cabinet that I like it. It's sturdy. It rolls around. Nobody wants it. Lots of flooring. More things to get rid of. Got fishing gear up here, which is, I guess, to be handy. It's a roll of new linoleum flooring. It's like a checker pattern. It's not my thing, but I keep it around because it's new and it was expensive. I didn't pay for it. It's not even mine. Inherit it, so to speak. But yeah, I've got the garage that I want to finish. Want to put the siding on it. Got this old door. It was a gift to my dad. He called it Papa's door, so that was his Papa. I gotta go in here and turn this darn music off. It changed on me. So I managed not to record properly. Oops. Upstairs in this loft in this building, got a whole bunch of stuff up there. My climbing gear, more chainsaws, extra flooring, all these things that I need, that I have, but I got to do the projects. I'm literally like backed up with supplies that I've obtained for nothing to do projects that I haven't gotten around to, that are hard to do because I have so many supplies and it's hard to do them. My dad's garage door, am I going to put that back in? Do I want something more secure than the glass? I don't like the way that when it rolls up into the shop, it blocks part of my overhead I-beam. So should I do a roll-up door on the outside? The fire barrel, so many good memories, cooking bacon on it, cleaning it up, relining it, doing some repairs on it for rust. It's rusted out again. I'm not using it. I replaced it. I can't seem to get rid of it because of the memories. Hydraulic pump stuff that followed me home from work. Paid nothing for it. Super expensive. Got the motor and everything. Yeah. One more thing. Steam cleaner, same thing. It needs a couple $100 parts to work right as a hot pressure washer. Got to get rid of it. Too much of this stuff. In the garage. So we're in the garage. Sandblast cabinet. I got to rewire the shop. Bunch of electrical supplies and everything here. The most useful corner, my wife. She does her seed starts, plant starts. I don't know what you can even call them, but they taste good. Food. Put in this nice shelving and stuff over here. Yeah, can't use any of that. I can't even get to it. I have to like climb over this because things like this just sitting there. A box of windshield wiper blades, a water jet. It's a Wazer water jet. I can't use because I didn't get the water pump with it, and haven't found a way, and they don't seem to sell them out separate. The whole pile over there, that's just kind of like ham radio stuff. The air compressor that I've fixed half a dozen times as a kid, my kids fixed it. It's currently working and running, but I use that big giant one there in the corner. So what do I do with this extra small commercial compressor? Got tools everywhere, more chainsaws, organizing cabinets, nut and bolt bins. This is pretty much Dodge stuff coming down through here. Yes, it's a donut robot. What can I say? I like eating a couple, but that's a lot of work. Needs a new home. Anybody need a donut robot? Toolboxes, settling torches. Somehow the bottles always grow on these things. It's like, oh, we don't have the small ones, but you can upgrade to the bigger ones. Now they're too big to be practical and move around. Lots of unfinished projects. This computer is from like 2005. Why is that still here? I don't know. It's like I need to look in the hard drive and make sure something's off of it and a memory won't be lost with it. My toolbox. Check this drawer. I haven't used an air tool besides the die grinder in forever. It's the only organized drawer in there because I never use it. My son's tractor parts all over the place, but he's actively working on that project. It's just been taking a long time. It's one of those things where he was just going to put it together, but it grew. I do like it though. It's like it gives him the opportunity. He's got the lathe. He was able to take and this one was all mushroomed up. It's not available part, and he welded it up, machined it back down, and then you just got to thread it. What do you do with these things? I had some fun. I wanted to be able to record some videos, some lighting and stuff. Was at the ham radio show, and this guy literally was like, I'm done. I've sold everything, clearly made my money. And he's like, here, just take this lighting. And I thought, well, that'd be really cool lighting. You know, it's things like this. And it's nice to actually work under. I'm not trying to be some production studio of something, because obviously I got a clue what I'm doing. So it's like, you kind of break some things together, because I had no lighting in here. 2 years. 2 years I've had my engine sitting here. I think it's been painted for 2 years now. So it's about time I get it in the truck. Got my new wood stove. But I have these problems, because I'm like, how much do I want to put into the building? Because I'm thinking like, I'd like to rip this concrete out and actually drop it down to the height of the other part of the shop. Give me a little bit more headroom for the overhead I-beam up here. This slab's cracked. I'd like, and it was actually a patio, so it has this 2% slope going down to the corner, and that would be nice to actually have flat ground to build on. I learned the hard way when I was setting the caster on the Jeepster and welding the housing together. I cut the knuckles off and spun them, and I was setting it up, and I hadn't fully welded it. I tacked it all up, thought everything was good, and I moved the project, went back to it, and I was like, everything's way off, because I was just double checking it. And it was actually at that point that I realized, yeah, you can feel the slope walking across this, but it never dawned on me that when I'm setting things up with a level that you can't build that way. So it's hard to get rid of these things. As you can see, I have a problem. I have no idea what these fit, but I bet you that's a pretty pricey saw blade. So yeah, not sure. Something has to change. I've been here at the house 10 years now. Still in the process of cleaning things out. It seems to fill up faster than it cleans out. I'm gonna switch it again. What do we leave behind? Why do we keep the stuff that we got? What legacy are we making, passing forward? Am I living out the example that I want my kids to have? Am I living out what I want them to be able to grow into? We really want to hand down fireplaces, electric motors, I realize the things that I'm holding on to for the memories are keeping me from memories, new memories. So what is important? I believe passing on my faith to my family is of the utmost importance. I don't want them to be stuck in the traditions that I have that work for me or don't work for me. great. But then do I act upon it? Why don't I act upon the things? We should brush our teeth every day. Twice a day. We know that. But do we always exercise that? Is it because we don't care about our teeth? Is it because we don't care to follow rules? Are we just too lazy? Are we too busy? Why do we not do the things that we know are good? Yeah. It's amazing how I can have clear thoughts, and as soon as I turn the camera on, not so clear anymore. They don't come out as good as they revolve around in my head. Truck driving's easy, you know, we just sit in a chair all day. It's not like we get beat up. I don't know, I want to do a lot better for my kids than what I've been doing for myself. I think as parents we all want that, but somehow I think we fall quite a bit short in actually doing it. And if it's hard, I want to do it. I don't want to put it on to my kids. I don't know, I guess I'm gonna have some more thoughts rattle around, and then I'll come back and say some more. The fireplace needs to go, the old wood burning stove. Those are my memories. So what does the fireplace represent? The fireplace represents my youth, using something that my grandfather gave to my dad when he got his shop built. What does that mean to my kids? Well, Christian, the one I'm working in the shop with now, for him, we've rebuilt it. We've also replaced it with a more efficient unit. It won't mean anything for Michaela. It won't mean anything for David. It means less room on the patio in the backyard. It means something that somebody will have to deal with if I don't. It's time. I don't need to save the doors off of it or something, thinking that maybe someday I'll make an outdoor fire pit stove or anything. It was for a time and a place, and that time and a place is gone. Its time and place now needs to be here. I'll remember cooking bacon on it. I'll remember even some of the wood that we put in it to burn. Relining it, cleaning it. There's a sweetness to that pastime that I like. But it's gone. The conveyors, they're nothing to me except for being in my way now for several years since I've used them. I can think of all sorts of things to use them for. Carrying things up to the roof, moving firewood that I split like a conveyor off to a pile so I'm not having to pick it all up right away when I'm splitting a lot of wood. But I don't ever do that. I have them and I'm not using them. So it's better to just send them on their way for free if somebody will take them. I find it's not worth my time to put them up for money. If I ask something of a reasonable value for them, then I just have to deal with selling them, meeting with people, explaining it, more time communicating back and forth. If I put them up super cheap, it's still the same hassle and problem, and then I feel like I haven't got my value out of it. There's something nice about giving something away and letting somebody take it. I guess at that point, when I put something out on the street and somebody takes it, I feel like somebody wants it. I don't want to think that, oh, they're as bad as me and they're just taking it home and hoarding it. Or if they take it home and then their whole intention is just to sell it and try to make some money and doing that is their thing, then great. It's not mine. It's not my thing to try to sell stuff. So I think I'm going to take a section. I got a lot of street frontage property. Throw it out there and just put a free sign out there. What's here goes. And what doesn't, quit being so cheap. Put it in your truck. Take it to the dump. Pay to get rid of it. It's not that much. The space is valuable. The mind space is valuable. I need to take my own advice. Clean up my life. Clean up the clutter. Don't think about the monetary value. I've done good getting rid of a lot of the different construction parts and pieces, parts that I had for the Kenworths and trucks that I had, because for those I take them up and I give them to one of my friends that owns kind of it's like everything industrial wrecking yard for all intents and purposes. And he can make money on them, he can not make money on them, he can scrap it, I don't care. I feel like I've taken it and I've put it in the hands of somebody else. I have some sort of emotional attachment to these little engines. I'm like, it's a perfectly good running little engine that I'm never going to use. And I can't scrap it and throw it away, because I feel like these inanimate objects deserve their existence. Oh, it's old, so it should keep surviving. And that's hard to get rid of. But it's easier to transfer the ownership to somebody else, just give it away. Then it's on somebody else's responsibility to care for it. Move it, wash it, maintain it, or scrap it. It's on somebody else if it goes away. I need to get down to where I can care for the things that I have. Coming up on 20 years since my Jeepster's been on the road. I told myself, I'll take the time, I'll do it right, because I don't want to replace the floor in it, get it on the road, and in 15 years have a rusted out floor, and I have to replace the floor in 15 years. Congratulations. You did it. You don't have to replace a rusted out floor in 15 years. It's been 20. And you have to replace the floor that you never installed. 20 years. It's taken up a parking spot. I've moved it around countless times. It's been sucking life out of me. Been taking my time. It's not a project I'm ready to give up on, but I need to get around to it. Getting around to it is eliminating the other things. The ARB bumper that somehow I hold on to some sort of a value for, scrap metal. Get it gone. Make it happen. My son is stepping right into my shoes for holding on to treasures. And it's time for that to stop. I need to show him the way. I think I've literally been waiting to see how he does it and how he handles getting rid of these things and getting his stuff in order. The reality is, he's walking in my boots, and he needs me to show him the way. So I need to show myself the way. I don't know if I need to make like lists, priorities. I've made lists before. It almost feels like time wasted making a list. So I have to figure out how to balance that. I think there is some stuff that maybe it's not a list of priorities, but maybe having the 10 things, like I'm only going to be working on these 10 things within reason. And they need to get dealt with or they need to get done with. Hey, if anybody happens to see this, has thoughts, leave a comment, suggestion, criticism. Another man's trash is another man's treasure. And I give up my trashy treasure to somebody else? Is that freeing for me? Is it more valuable treasure for them? Are the treasures that I have worth more than the treasure of time and new memories? My old memories and the things that I hold on to those old memories are keeping me from the new memories. The younger generations, they don't need my memories. They need their memories. We're all going away at some point. I need to live a life otherly for somebody else. Am I living my life otherly for these things? Or am I living my life otherly for my children? I think I've been living a selfish life, and I've been living these things, keeping these things for me. Because it's coming more and more evident to me. Other people don't want your stuff, your crap. So why don't I eliminate 90% of it, focus on that 10%, and maybe make it something that somebody will want. That's enough for now, I guess. I'll have to stir up some more raw thoughts. Well, now it's time for the video editing side. Time to hit the computer, see if I can put this into a short video, share it with you guys. And yeah, so here we go. DaVinci Resolve. We'll see what happens.